Hey Strategy Simplified, Naman here with a quick announcement. Our last Black Belt cohort of 2021 kicks off on September 1st. If you're looking for a comprehensive interview prep program, Black Belt is for you. Our expert team will work with you through every step of the recruiting process. Resume and cover letter edits, one-on-one case and behavioral interview coaching, a full online curriculum containing practice cases and drills, live group training sessions on top of your one-on-one coaching sessions, and access to fellow Black Belts for peer practice. There are only a handful of spots remaining in this last cohort of 2021. You can learn more and grab your spot through the link in the show notes.
In this episode, we walk through hero stories. What are they? How many do you need? And when do you know you're ready for the interview? We're going to give you a great playbook to succeed inside your interview. So let's jump in, but bring a pen, bring a piece of paper, make sure that you're ready to take notes and follow along. How many hero stories should you prep for an interview? It's a good question. And when we're coaching people to get ready for an interview, we'll often, in kind of an offhanded way, say, how many interview questions do you think you're going to get? How many stories do you think you need to prepare? And our average answer that we get is 5 to 7. However, that doesn't take into account the fact that in most interviews, you have 2 interviews in your first round, and it's optimal to not tell the same stories twice. So we actually recommend upping that number to 15 total. Let me talk through what a hero story is and what kinds of hero stories you need to be ready to share inside your interviews. First of all, a hero story is an example of a time that you successfully fixed a problem. The problem doesn't have to be massive. It could be a small communication problem or a misunderstanding. It could be a lack of clarity that you then clarified. But ultimately, these stories show that you take initiative, solve problems, and find a way. These kinds of stories have 3 parts. They're built out of the CAR structure, which is our storytelling structure at Management Consulted. CAR stands for context, action, and results. And so 20 seconds of the story are about the background of the story, 20 seconds are about action, and 20 seconds are about results. The 20 seconds for each one of those pieces is one of the biggest challenges in telling the story, because many people can tell a great story with unlimited time, but to thoughtfully build and construct your stories to fit within 1 minute can take a little bit of extra practice. So if your story is constructed like that and you need 15 of them, where do you get all of these stories? Well, there are 3 places where you can find your hero stories. Number 1 is from academic experience. For those of you that are students right now, you can think about class projects or teamwork or research papers that you did. You can talk about developing something, having a challenge, a conflict, a question along the way, and then how you ultimately resolved it. And you can build up to 5 of those stories as long as they were with 5 different teams, or at least no more than 2 of the stories were with the same team. The second set of stories are from leadership experiences. These are non-paid, non-graded experiences. And those can come from on campus or from community or even on the job experiences where you're a part of, for example, a diversity network inside your company. If you have some of those experiences, again, no more than 2 for any individual experience, but what you're looking for is an opportunity for change, a situation that arose that was a challenge and how you overcame it. And then the final set of stories are for your work experience. Many people find that they have the most stories from their work experience. I don't necessarily mean that you should overwhelm your stories with work experiences. If you have 15 stories from only 3 work experiences, you actually are in some only telling me that you were good 3 times. What I'm looking for in your overall stories are not just examples of how you did well on the job and in leadership and in academics, but that you did well in all 3. So the purpose of the hero stories is not just to develop a single story in each category, but multiple stories so that you can reinforce the message that you're great in all situations. Building hero stories on your own isn't always easy. In fact, many people find it easy to come to 7 or 8 hero stories, but getting to 10 and then ultimately to 15 can be a bigger challenge. So if you want help, we have 2 resources for you. The first is a digital resource on a fit interview. It's called the Fit Interview Bootcamp. And the second one is one-on-one coaching, where we can actually help you personally walk through this. We've got links in the show notes, so just check out both of those options there. Thanks so much for listening. We hope that you learned a lot in this episode. Thanks so much. Come back for the next one. It's going to be great as well. You might think that you're ready for your interview, but best guess is that you still need a little bit of help. If you can't find a friend or you don't have somebody who will push you sufficiently to make sure that you excel, get help, and we're here to help you. We're super excited to introduce some personal offerings as well as digital offerings, and all the links are in the show notes. But if you want to find out about more that we do at Management Consulted, one of the best ways to do that is to follow us on LinkedIn. In addition, please review this podcast. When you love it, it's helpful for other people to know. It helps them find it, to see it, and to understand what's great about it. Thanks so much for joining. We look forward to having you on a future episode of Strategy Simplified.